Hello, today we are discussing DV 2023 cases. The DV 2023 program is well underway. Interviews are being conducted, but many applicants do not seem to realize that simply because they have not received their interview notification. And so in this video, I will be addressing a number of your preoccupations based on questions I have been receiving. So let's go into it. Welcome back to this discussion. To begin, let us recap on the visa bulletin cutoff numbers that applied in the three big regions during the first 3 months of the DV 2023 program. The cutoff number that applied in the Africa region for the months of October and November was 5,700. In the case of Asia, it was 2,800, and for Europe, it was 5,700. That was for the months of October and November. Now, for the month of December, the cutoff number that currently applies to the Africa region is 9,000. For the Asia region, it is 3,300, and for Europe, it is 6,100. In less than a week's time, these cutoff numbers are expected to increase. We will talk about that in a moment, but before we do, in case you are an applicant from any of these big regions and you have a case number that is less than the cutoff numbers that I just mentioned concerning the month of December, that is 9,000 for the Africa region, 3,300 for Asia, and 6,100 for the Europe region, it means that either you have already received your interview notification or you are looking forward to receiving it. When it comes to those who have already received their interview notification, there is no much issue. As I said, interviews are ongoing and some DV 2023 applicants have already been interviewed. And so our focus here is on those who have not received their interview notification, although they have already submitted their DS-260 and their case number falls below the current cutoff number that applies to the region for the month of December. There are many applicants who find themselves in this situation, and a lot of you have become concerned and you have been asking for explanation. I have provided explanation to that effect in past videos, but what I'm going to do in the next video is I'm going to take out the time to provide explanation as to why you have already submitted your DS-260 and your case number is current, but so far you have not yet received your interview notification. But for the time being, be assured that indeed interviews continue to be conducted. The fact that you have not yet received your interview notification does not mean that interviews are not ongoing. It does not mean that there is a problem with the program. It does not necessarily mean that there is a problem with your case. As I said, in my next video, I'm going to explore the reasons why this is happening. Also, be reassured that interview notifications continue to be sent out in the DV 2023 program. They started to be sent out from the second week of the month of August, and they have continued to be sent out up to the end of the month of October. Now, I said in a number of past videos that the end of the month, like now, is a very important time in the running of the diversity visa program. Some of you are aware of the explanation that I provided, but for those of you who did not follow that explanation, as well as those of you who are new to the channel, let me quickly run over it. What makes the end of the month important in the running of the diversity visa program is that the end of the month is a time of decision making at the level of the visa office. We have mentioned that before. At the end of the month, the visa office receives reports concerning consular activities from the previous month. And based on those reports, they get to know a number of things and they go about taking a number of decisions. For example, they get to know the number of interviews that were actually scheduled for the following month, as well as if there are available spaces for more at certain embassies and consulates. And so what they do in the first week of the new month is to assign those available spaces to cases that are ready for interview and that should be interviewed at the embassies and consulates concerned. Let us apply that to our current situation. After the publication of the last visa bulletin on October 7th, interview notifications began to be sent out and were sent out throughout the month of October for December interviews. And so at the end of the month of October, the reports received by the visa office would have indicated that at this or that embassy there are still available spaces for a few interviews. And so some of you who should be interviewed at those embassies and consulates will receive your interview notifications as of now, and that is going to last for about a week, from now up to early next week, before the next visa bulletin is published. And if you are in that number, your interview will be scheduled for the month of December. And that is going to concern only a few cases. And that is because the spaces that are still available at various embassies and consulates by the time the visa office receives the monthly report are very few. So few cases will be served by those few spaces. But that is not the end. Another thing that the visa office also does after receiving the monthly report is the establishment of the new cutoff numbers that will apply in the upcoming month in the diversity visa program. And so sometime early next week, say on Monday or Tuesday, we can expect the new visa bulletin to be published. And in that visa bulletin, we will see new cutoff numbers. For the Africa region, for example, instead of having 9,000 as is the case now, we may have, say, 10,500 or 12,000, but some number that is higher than 9,000. In the case of Asia, instead of having 3,300, we will have a cutoff number that is more than 3,300. It could be 3,500, 4,000, but some number that is in excess of 3,300. And in the Europe region, instead of having 6,100, which is the current cutoff number for the Europe region, we will have a cutoff number that is higher than 6,100. And that will be the opportunity for most of you who will not have received your interview notification by then to receive it. And that is going to last throughout the month of November. And those interviews will concern the month of January 2023. And so if you are concerned by this, continue to look in relevant locations, because your interview notification may show up sometime this week in case there are still available interviewing spaces at your embassy or consulate for a December interview. But in case you don't get served this week, then continue to search in relevant locations after the next visa bulletin is published early next week, because from then on, new interview notifications will be sent out for January 2023 interviews. So there is no need to panic. Consider what you are experiencing as something that is normal. As I said, in my next video, I will provide you with a number of reasons why you have so far not received your interview notification. Now, let me clarify that this only concerns those whose case numbers are below the cutoff number that is currently shown for their region. In case your case number is at the level of the cutoff that is shown for your region currently, or above that cutoff, that is another discussion, and we will carry out that discussion when the visa bulletin is published early next week. And so that is about all. That is all we have in today's discussion. Thanks for watching the video. Now, as usual, if you have comments and questions, you can leave them in the comment area below, and I will be glad to respond to them. and I will see you in a day or two, God willing, in the next video. Goodbye.